In the heart of Ukraine, a $500 drone brought down a Russian Mi-8 helicopter. Now, you're about to see exactly how it happened. How precision, timing, and calm coordination turned a small FPV drone into a weapon powerful enough to change the course of the battle. At 8:14 a.m. on September 29th, 2025, the skies over eastern Ukraine were clear, with only a soft wind blowing from the northeast. Flying low through the valleys, a Russian Mi-8 helicopter searched for cover from long-range radars. What the pilot didn't know was that this very decision would expose him to an enemy that didn't need antennas to find him. Only a pair of trained ears and a $500 drone. Hidden in the shadow of a small ridge, a Strike 10 FPV drone waited silently. It was no bigger than a shoebox and carried a single warhead, a PG-7M, originally designed for the RPG-7 grenade launcher. The charge weighed just 2 kilograms, but its shaped metal cone could punch through 300 millimeters of armor. Against a helicopter, it didn't need to pierce steel, it only needed to touch the right spot. 2 Ukrainian operators, part of the 59th Assault Brigade, known as the Highland Falcons, coordinated the attack. One monitored the terrain and guided the route, while the other piloted the drone through a live video feed. The video signal was stable, the latency minimal, and the breathing in the headset was calm. Not excitement, just focus. The rules were simple. Fix the target, close in, and strike. For the Mi-8 crew, everything seemed routine. They were following a narrow corridor between hills, invisible to high-altitude radars, but what hid them from the sky made them visible from the ground. The sound of the rotor blades echoed through the valley like a heartbeat. Each vibration bounced off the hills, revealing not only direction, but distance. The drone's operator tracked the sound, a natural sonar. He didn't need radar. He already knew exactly where the helicopter would appear. The drone moved low and slow, hugging the terrain. Its goal wasn't speed, it was angle. Every ridge, every curve became a funnel guiding it closer to the ambush point. At 8:17, the Strike 10 left its cover and skimmed above the grass. Its onboard compass and inertial sensors replaced GPS to avoid detection. The operator made micro-adjustments, tiny stick movements, just a few millimeters at a time, keeping the craft invisible beneath the radar horizon. In the distance, massive S-400 and Panzer systems scanned the skies for jets and missiles. None of them noticed the tiny signal crawling below. To those radars, the FP5 drone was just noise, a mosquito in a thunderstorm. By 8:18, the Mi-8 was entering a narrow valley. The helicopter's blades chopped the air at 230 kilometers per hour. The observer whispered,
6 seconds when you see it. Get ready.
The drone climbed just 20 meters, enough to spot its target without revealing itself. This wasn't pursuit, it was interception. The drone didn't chase the helicopter, it anticipated where it would be. Each beat of the rotor helped guide its trajectory like an invisible metronome. Then, visual contact. The Mi-8 appeared in the drone's camera, a dark shape sliding through sunlight and shadow. The pilot aimed not at the helicopter itself, but at the thin line of its transmission box, a weak point that kept the rotors stable. Inside the Mi-8, the side gunner noticed a flash.
Contact! 3 o'clock!
he shouted, spinning his PKM machine gun toward the glint. Bullets sprayed the air, but most disappeared into the landscape. Hitting a moving drone the size of a football was like trying to shoot a fly in the wind. In the FP station, time slowed. The operator made 3 final micro-corrections. The observer murmured, "Hold it, clean." The crosshairs stabilized. The PG-7M warhead aligned perfectly with the target. At 8:19 a.m., a brief flash lit up the screen. The explosion wasn't large, but it was exact. The shaped charge tore into the transmission box. Instantly, the helicopter's sound changed, from rhythm to grinding chaos. The rotors shook violently, and the Mi-8 began spinning out of control. Flames trailed along the fuselage as the helicopter rolled sideways and plunged toward the ground. Inside, chaos. Shell casings clattering, men shouting, the PKM gunner grabbing the frame to steady himself. The pilot pulled at the controls, but the machine no longer obeyed. Seconds later, impact. A thundering crash echoed across the valley, followed by silence. From the drone station, the Ukrainian operators heard it all: the whine of the rotor, the final rush of air, and then the dull thud that marked the end. One released his controls, exhaled slowly, and began packing the gear. No cheers, no triumph, just routine. Antennas folded, batteries unplugged, footage saved. They moved their position immediately. Survival depended on staying unseen. Minutes later, a thick column of black smoke rose behind the trees. The heat distorted the air. Fuel and burning metal mixed into a heavy smell of victory and danger. Secondary explosions sparked from the wreckage. Ammunition cooking off like distant firecrackers. For Ukraine's army, these drones have changed everything. With minimal cost, skilled operators can neutralize multi-million-dollar targets and reclaim tactical freedom once reserved for advanced air forces. Strategically, this new era of small, intelligent warfare lowers the cost of attack, but raises the cost of defense. In this war, power no longer decides who wins. Precision does. Tone, calm, authoritative. Emphasize power no longer decides. Precision does.